Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Asian Report for the 17th of April. However, I want to start with the US market, and this is the Nasdaq here because the Nasdaq has been the strongest, and this is a weekly chart. So for the S&P 500, the S&P 500 has tested this low down through here, where the Nasdaq has held it through here. And we're expecting this market to continue to move higher. But at the same time, we're also looking for, just in case we're wrong, we've been looking for an ABC correction. Now, the ABC correction taking us up to, in this case, the 9,000 area through here, in there somewhere. So it's moved up past its 61.8% mark, which was roughly around here somewhere. Okay, so the S&P 500 hasn't gotten to its 61.8% retracement level, which is at 2,900. So this is the Nasdaq was shorter down here. It held better here. It's lifted higher here. It's lifting the rest of the market up. The US banks have been the weak spot in the S&P 500. That's why it sort of sank lower through here. And when we look at this here on the daily chart here, we can see that it's above its 61.8% retracement level here for that, which you don't need now. And it could pop this, I've got it as 1 here and 2 here and possibly 3 here. That's the way that I've been sort of looking at it. But it can be an A wave and a B wave and a C wave coming up into that space. And I'll just go to the hourly chart here and just show you where we are with this. So as a corrective wave up, as a wave A here, wave B here, and then from wave B, we're looking up to the wave C here, and we're looking for 5 waves in that structure, which is 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 here, and then we're getting an extension in the 5th wave, which is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, and then we're looking for this move up through here, which would be 1 and 2 and 3 here and 4 here and 5 here. So there's still more to go with this here, but I think it's just good to know kind of where the leading market in the world is and where it will terminate here. So that's good to know. And but when we look at stocks like Amazon, for example, I can see that from this low here that we've got wave 1 here and 2 here and wave 3 here, and we'll go to wave 4 and 5 here. So this has got more to go up. And yes, it can pull back, and then it could pull back and fail and have a top in play here and fail from that point. But if we get a corrective move, it can continue to the upside here. But I'm pointing out that the Nasdaq is the leading indice, and stocks like this still have further to move to the upside here with all of this. So I just think that that's sort of interesting in knowing where that's coming from in that regard. So with the ASX200 here, the move up through here, we were looking for it to move back up into the 50-60% retracement level here. It had really been lagging and dragging its feet and so on here, but we couldn't really be bearish unless we had 5,000 as the resistance. Sure, we do a bit of scalping and things in between all of that, but just in the general picture of things, we haven't risen to this particular level here just yet. And so we still may be able to do that. Let's just go and have a little look at this. It's a little bit messy, and I've just got a few different sort of counts for it. But if I take it conservatively and look at it in line with, say, the Nasdaq and what it's doing, then this move here would still have, I could look at this. This is actually not quite right. We'd put this over to here and have this here, and this would be an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave to here to make the A wave, and then an A and a B and a C to make the B wave here. And I'm only guessing here. I'm not that sure with this, And then I can count 5 waves up here for 1 and back for 2, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, third wave, fourth wave here, which I'm not that happy with because it overlaps wave 1. I mean, technically, really, we should be looking at this as wave 1 and 2 here, then wave 1 and 2 here. But I need to do it conservatively, and I need to look for a 5-wave move coming up into this here, and probably looking at this as 1 and 2 here, and 3 here, and 4 here, and 5 here, and that will bring us in with the Nasdaq. But I can still see from like Amazon that the market will still be lifted higher from that point. But I just need to take it conservatively here. The 5,000 obviously is the support, but we can lift the support up to the top of minor group 1 now. So group 1 is 10, 20 and 30, or 100, 200 and 300 in this case. So it's minor group 1. We've actually, see, all this was resistance across here, and now we've got it as support, and we'll probably make new highs above here. So yeah, and then this one here, we just, it sort of bugs me a little bit because I can count very clear 5 waves down through here. So we need to be we need to go and investigate this a little bit and try and understand it a little bit further. So as I just had it then, we would look at this as the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 here, and then going up into the 5 here, not really getting up into our 6,000 area here. And if I was conservative here, then I would need to look at this here as wave 1 and 2 here, and going up for 3 here, taking in the tops here, having a wave 4 and then a wave 5 here, and finishing in line with the Nasdaq. That would sort of make sense. But what sort of bugs me with this is that this move down through here is in 5 waves. And I know it's not a C wave as part of some sort of A, B, and C over here. I know that's not the case. So I'm still left with these 5 waves here. So I probably have to look at actually putting wave 4 over here and looking at this as an A wave here, a B wave here, pulling back to 61.8%, and a C wave coming down through here now. It's just the market's being pulled up by the other markets. So that's the only way I can get the ABC pattern happening in here, which would leave this here either as a swift 5 waves to the upside and finishing at that particular point there, or all of this up here for wave, coming up for wave 1 up here, pulling back for wave 2, and then moving up here higher. Let's go and take a closer look at this here. 15-minute chart. So yeah, from this top here, as you know, I was counting down as 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for the third wave, and fourth and fifth. Can I just double checking? I'm okay with that. I've pulled it apart and I can see, so maybe we've got this as the A wave here, the B wave here, and the C wave here with this situation. See, what I don't know at this stage is that I don't know if to call that, well, the A wave here, the B wave here, and the C wave here for that wave 4, or we call this wave 1 up through here and wave 2 through here, and we're going up into a stronger third wave that needs to still play out through here, I'd imagine, in one way or another, for wave 4 and then a wave 5. I mean, that would kind of be in line with the Nasdaq at that point, so that's not such a bad fit. There, so, and then having that sort of completed there, which will get us closer to our 50-60% retracement level at that point. When I have a look at this at the, whoops, wrong chart, sorry. When I have a look at this as the tick chart here, I mean, I've counted everything down here as 5 waves, and then after 5 waves, I think yesterday we were looking for a move back to the 61.8% mark. But when I look at this here, I can count this up here as 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So it counts up quite nicely as 5 waves. Maybe wave 4 low here has got a bit of an overlap here. And if that was the case, then this would be an A, B, C for the A wave here, then a B wave here, and a C wave here, and then having the 5 waves down. So I still don't know if we need to call this the to call it like this here, and the C wave is still short at this point, being pulled up at that point there. This particular structure here, we can go in and have a bit of a count on this, just get some sort of idea with it. So that would be wave 1, and then we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5 here, so we could call this 1 and 2 here. That would be third. I probably need to pull that apart a little bit further, but wave 4 here and wave 5 here, which would make wave 3 here. That would be wave 2 over here. It looks like we've got that corrective move there, but would pull down to, let's just check this out a bit. That's the 38.2% retracement level, so that's cool at that point. It does look like 3 waves there, so that could be moved to that point. This wave 4 may get a little bit uglier, and it also, you know, just because that's the 38.2% retracement level, that doesn't mean everything. That's wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, so if it was going to make this as down here, back here, there may be another move down here with this here, so just be mindful of that. It could get a little bit more complicated. So if I remove this here, then wave 5, we wouldn't get too much out of wave 5 because wave 1 is so small here, so that's something that we need to look at. Which would just take us back up here. I mean, the other point with this too is that, just to make things more complicated, is that the A wave's okay here. This is pulled up past the B wave, but we could end up with some sort of expanded flat here too. So having an A and a B and a C wave for a B wave over here, and then a C wave back over here for this. I don't think that's the case based on what the US is doing, but it's possible. So I'll just dull that out a little bit, just put it in the background. We can come back to that. I mean, it's possible all of this is a B wave just being dragged up, because we've still got these 5 waves down here that I'm not settled with. I find it a bit difficult to count this little structure in through here. I can account all of these, but if I counted it like this, then I need to put this here as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up into that space here. That's the only way that can count like that. So I'm a little bit lost on this situation. Yeah. I guess one thing that we could do is that we know that we've got problems over here on the old highs here, and that would bring us in at 5,500 here. So that's really the number that we're working with here. So if I just go back into the 15-minute chart now that we've looked at the bigger picture here, we would definitely need this as the setup here. So there may be a second high that comes in on this for the B wave. If this may just come back up here and come back down through here, then you can bring that down to this level here as well. So in a nutshell, we're really looking for support on this level here. So whichever way that comes, that's what you'd be looking at if you're going to be trading this to the upside. So this is a bit more of an overshoot pattern. So normally the distance above will be the distance below that it comes. So it certainly could drop a little bit lower, but you just have to look for this to, in one way, sort of shot straight up here with an overshoot pattern. So that normally be like this, and you couldn't get it. It can get a little bit sort of ugly in all of that. But basically, you're looking for the market to actually sit on that 5,500, and it may take you 1 or 2 times to get in. But Friday, In our bullish weekly cycle, we see Thursday is the sort of bearish day, in the morning, and start buying in the afternoon, and buying Friday morning, and then Friday afternoon, and Monday morning. So we're looking for a bullish scenario, but at the same time, you really want to be able to see that you've got a nice support on that 5,000. I have to move over and look at the other markets now. I'll start with China. So with China here, as you know, I'll just go back over it. The move down through here, we can look at it as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave, and then we go bullish from that point. The other way that we can look at it is bearish, and 1 here and 2 here, and then wave 1 here back up to the wave 2 here, which will be the 61.8% mark. And in that case here, we're looking at an A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave just up to here. So this C wave here, clean this up a little bit here. So from this B wave to the C wave here, we're looking for 5 waves. So we're looking at 1 and back for 2, up for 3, little ABC for 4 here, and we're looking up for 5 here. So we're looking for that first high above the level, which is this one here. And in that case, we would, once that's done here, that first high above the level, then we were looking for, well, the market's either going to fail from that point, and move, continue to move down from here, or it's going to give us an ABC pattern, and then we'll look to go long above these highs here, either of these highs here. So that will tell us that it's bullish at that point. So this is what we've really been waiting for here for this. In a nutshell, we're looking for the 13,000 to become the tested support, and we still need the first high above the level for that to play out. So there's still more time here to look at this, but it's important. It's important for the rest of the world, and also Hong Kong that we're looking at now as well. So looking at Hong Kong here. So once again here, this was the same as the Australian market in a way. We were looking for, we could count 5 waves down through to here. And in this case here, I need to look at this as an impulse wave because it's 5 waves, and then this is corrective here. So we were looking for an A and a B and a C wave coming back into this box here. This has been lifted higher here, and there may be another little move in here for this to pan out through here as well. And we were looking to go short, and we can still do that here. But we need another setup for this. I didn't expect it to go that high, and we're looking for that there. So I can just leave that there for the time being. I'm a little bit sort of lost here. The only other way that I could see, if we make new highs here, because we're looking for an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave coming up here in terms of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. The only other, if we make a new high here, the only mistake that I can see that I've got so far, if we make a new high above here, is then I would need to look at this here as an A wave here. Then I would need to copy this. I'll just leave it here for the time being, a B wave over here. So that would be an A and a B and a C wave for the B wave, and then the C wave over here with wave 4 sitting here. And then in that case, we would look at this as 1 here and 2 here and 3 here and 4 here and 5 here to make this wave C or 5 over here. And that's certainly possible with all of this. Like I say, I just don't know at this stage. And obviously I can see that the other markets around the world are going to be moving up, so it may be the go to do that. And if you're going to go long here, then we probably look at this as 1 and 2 here and all of the third wave here. So we could look at this current low here and that current high here. And if you were going to buy into this, then you'd pull back into this number here, the 24,225 area, and look to purchase at that point. But you would need to look at the little pattern there, but that would be the price to buy at if you're going to go higher from that particular point. So once again, I was looking for a short trade in a nutshell below here, or through here, but we haven't got that at the moment. So yeah, so I'm just going to have to chill on this, but we're likely to move up higher, but we'll just see. So I'm not going to call the trade in on this at the moment. And we'll look at India next. So in the bigger picture with India here, we're looking at 5 waves down, and we're looking for an A and a B and a C wave to move back up to the 50-60% retracement level at the 10,000. It was possible to count, well, let's go in and have a little look at this on the 4-hour chart here. So it has been possible to, so two things here. The length of wave A here would be wave A and wave C to have equality, would bring us up to 9,500 here for equality, and the 50-60% retracement level is up here further. Now it has been possible for me to count 5 waves up into this top here, and that still may be the case, and by all means we can look to go short below this one here and possibly even this one here. Let's go in and have a closer look at this. And you know, if it does move higher, if it takes out these highs here, then I've made a mistake in this count here of 5 waves, and we would need to re-look at that. So, but let's go in and just have a look at what I've done here. So, like I said, it's been a bit of an unusual count, but I've gone in here and counted 5 waves to here as 1 and 2 here, and then 3 here and 4 here, which kind of not that happy about this. I wanted to see this much stronger and longer, and I don't even know if we should be looking at this spike as wave 1 and 2 here, but it fits quite nicely with wave 3 and 4 here, except that we've got overlapping wave structures, so there's problems with that, and then we can count 5 waves up through here. So it's not the best looking 5 waves I've ever seen, and perhaps we could count that differently, and perhaps I'll need to look at the banks on that. So what we were looking at here is we were looking at this being 5 waves down here. So in a nutshell, we're looking to go short under here. We can lift that up into this particular space now. The market has moved through from the high here to the low here. This is the 50-60% retracement level. It has moved through that area there, and if I was trading this, then I would be looking to go long at that point there. If it comes back to that level, you could do that, and you'd also need to put the stop under here at that point for that. Moving into the 15-minute chart here, I don't know if that's going to, no, I'll go straight to the tick chart here. So I can move that to there. So from the low here, we can look at this as 1 and 2 in here, and a nice strong 3rd wave here and a 4th wave here, which could pull back a bit lower, but there is a nice ABC here for this already. Let's just check this out. Here, the 38.2% retracement level is lower from here, so we could copy, move that text. I think that's in the right place there. Oh, maybe there's another move down. I'd need to pull that apart further, but anyway, just as long as you know that if you've got to stop, that's where it can pull back to the 9,068 here. So just be mindful of that. And then the move up here, because the extension's in the 3rd wave here, that means that wave 1 here and wave 5 will be roughly the same. So we could just gravitate up to the closest largest number and put that there at 9,200. That's where the target would be for that, which yeah, so this move up here, I've counted this as 5 waves here and then a pullback into here. So we're not going to be able to I mean, perhaps we could look at this as an A wave and a B wave and a C wave into this area through here, and then that would leave us with, but that's still pretty short for wave 3 here compared to this here, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Even if we take this to 200 here, this is all of group 1 here, of course, so we've got 300 and 100 in here. and 8, that's the next level down, the 800 here. So this can still be, do I have an ABC here? I mean, this can still be the A wave here, a B wave up to here, finishing on supply level here, and then dropping here. I'm going to move that here because we didn't trade that. And no, we could look at this. So I just don't know yet what we've got here with this. It's just not clear for me. I mean, it looks like we can go higher. So that B wave would be on the 200 here, and then a C wave coming back here. So that can still play out through here. And what we can do, you know, we've been looking for 5 waves going from that low to the 200 here. That would be the target, and a sensible target too, because of the supply over here. It will start hitting that before that as well, so you'll be able to go into sub levels before that, so subgroup 2. But what I'm thinking is that to confirm that we've got a bullish move that goes further up this way, then what we could do is we could look at gaining support on the 2 here. So would need to see the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then the ABC correction here, and then we could look to go long here. So we would need the setup sitting on top of the 200 here. So you know the classic trading levels pattern in this case for the long side, which would look like this here. So if this is the 200 here, we can see that wave 5 can get us to here. If this plays out through here and the market eventually finds support here, then we can go long from that point. But you need the market sitting on top of that 200 there. There will definitely be some type of resistance at this point here, and it could fail and come back into wave C here, or find support here and then move up. So in a way, the next trade is really sitting on the 200 here, because if it gets support here, then we're going to be going up much higher at that point, because the way that we've already got 5 waves here. So it means that something is wrong in this count, which wouldn't surprise me, to be honest, because it is rather messy within all of this. And it would probably end up with wave 3 up here and wave 4 over here for that. That's the only way that would make any sort of sense. Okay, well, look, not a great deal of help, but just step by step in this instance. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.